Guys, welcome back to RHP. We're still talking to Dr. Aswani of reproductive health.
He's a reproductive health specialist.
Okay, otherwise known as Obs and Gyn. He practices at Upper Hill, and today we were discussing menstruation. Now we have some questions, Daktari, for you.
Yes,
thank you. Others are questions, others are statements. You go ahead and let us know which one is a myth, which one is a fact.
All right.
You are ready?
Yes.
Okay, number one, you cannot conceive on your menses. Is that a fact?
That's true.
Oh.
You cannot.
Okay.
For two reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, ordinarily when you're on your periods,
yes,
a cycle is just ended. You ought to have ovulated 2 weeks earlier before the beginning of the cycle. So you do not have an egg at that moment in time.
Yes.
And number two,
mm-hmm.
menstruation really means that the inner line of the uterus has become disrupted, which is where implantation will be taking place. So on both counts,
yes,
then you cannot have
a
conception
at that time.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, good. Number two, you need to visit a doctor as soon as, and maybe this will be for young ladies who are starting to get their periods. Is it advisable for them to see a gynecologist immediately they get their first period?
Difficult to put it in exactly those words.
Yeah.
There are those who will begin and they come, they are perfectly okay.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be absolutely necessary
for them to see a doctor.
But there are some where they begin and they have issues.
Mm-hmm.
It can be issues of pain, it can be issues of regularity, it can be issues of heaviness, prolonged.
Mm-hmm.
I think for that particular age, it can cause them quite a bit of stress,
mm-hmm.
not understanding what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Many times being able to explain to them the basis and why things would happen the way they are doing can actually stabilize their thinking, so that they are not disturbed, because a good number of them will already be in school, and that can really take quite a bit of a toll on them if they are anxious, they are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So that yes, where there appears to be something that is not quite okay, it is best when now they are taken to a person who can give perspective to whatever is happening in their bodies. Yes.
And while we are still on that, what is the age? What is the age of? How do I put this? What is the age considered right for a girl child to see a gynecologist? Is it 18 when they are adults according to the laws of the country?
I do not think that there is an age issue, really.
Yes.
It is a need. I think from where I stand is a need issue.
Mm-hmm.
There are those who have need, and there are those who may not have a specific need.
Yes.
There are those who would just want a general health check,
mm-hmm.
so that it's not strictly on the basis that they have periods or not.
Mm-hmm.
It can be just an issue that we are growing. We want to know whether we are okay, whether there are any unexpected abnormal growths or anything within us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a general health check, and that can be at any time. It's not strictly on the basis of age. Then there's the aspect of perhaps and here that is where perhaps sometimes where we can take advantage of some scenarios where maybe one is joining school or changing or going to college.
Mm-hmm.
It does make good sense when really we get a full examination done. A number of people, they would just want to have forms filled.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's not the way to go. If one gets a full exam, of course for the adolescent girls, then we would still have to extend look at issues to do with their reproductive side.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree.
Right.
Okay. So, okay. You know, when they come, we take them to pediatricians. So I thought maybe there will be a clear-cut time frame for them now to move from, seeing a pediatrician to now seeing other specialists.
Well, generally speaking, the cutoff age for pediatricians is meant to be 13 years.
Oh, okay.
So that when you have persons who are above 13, ideally the pediatrician should hand over to the next level.
Okay.
But be that as it may,
Yes.
even when one goes to a pediatrician with a condition that will be of a gynecological nature,
Yes.
eventually the pediatrician will make the first evaluation and then
refer. Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Right.
Thank you. Another question. After childbirth, menses should resume 6 weeks immediately. Is that a fact?
No.
Okay.
Majority of times it takes longer than that. There are few people where it can come as early as even 1 month. What we consider fact is that that area where the placenta will have come from, the lining should have regenerated by 6 weeks. Now, periods will usually come because majority of times the ovaries have become active again in the process of generating eggs, and the process that therefore is accompanied by release of hormones. Now, the key hormone of breastfeeding is called prolactin. When this prolactin is still high, when you are breastfeeding on demand, a good majority of women
don't get there.
They will not get periods because the prolactin suppresses the ovary. So that you find that in fact majority of women begin to get periods from after the 6 months after weaning, when the frequency of breastfeeding reduces. Right.
Okay.
So for 6 weeks there are very few.
There are very few.
Very few indeed.
Okay.
But we usually would want to start taking precautions, particularly in the context of pregnancy, because you are saying now that inner lining of the uterus is fully regenerated and has the potential to accept a fertilized egg. But we know that in a good majority, fertility does not come back until after the first 6 months.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. And for precautions, he means family planning. Hiyo ndio lugha ya mtaani.
Yes. Yes, usually we tend to initiate.
After 6 weeks,
we tend to initiate family planning from 6 weeks on.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough. Another question.
Yes.
If you have regular menses, it's unlikely that you'll have issues with fertility.
To a large extent, that's true.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Regular menses imply normal ovarian function.
Yes.
In a majority. Put differently, if you already have an irregular cycle, either coming too frequently beyond normal or delayed beyond normal, that definitely puts you in the place where we know fertility is impaired.
Yes.
And so when it is regular, therefore, yes, we look at it that one has good fertility potential.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Another question. There are dangers to postponing menses or other periods. How do they postpone it anyway? I hear of these stories. Maybe it's time I just find out from you, together with my viewers.
All right. Yes. Periods, menses can be postponed, and for good reason.
Okay.
Majority of times when I get clients who need that, I usually do a bit of education to those who are getting married. And sometimes then you look at their cycle and you realize that perhaps periods might be coming on their wedding day or in their honeymoon. At that point in time, then we discuss and decide whether we can try to postpone so that per chance, yes, they do not spoil that day and or the honeymoon.
Okay. No, continue, please. I'm just. I mean, my reasoning is, and maybe it's old school.
Yes.
I'm thinking they can wait. Periods come for just about 3 to 4 days or 5 maximum.
All
They
right.
can wait. But then, okay, it's a good reason
well,
according to.
Of course, it depends on,
Yeah.
for instance, the heaviness.
Mm-hmm.
For those people who have heavy periods,
Yes.
you can imagine even if you had put a tampon or a pad and it is your wedding day and they
Yes.
begin in the morning, you do not have opportunity to be able to
yeah.
get a place to go and change.
I agree.
So that can be
Yeah, I agree.
quite something.
Yes.
Now, probably you want to be traveling and probably you plan activities, swimming, whatnot. Again,
Yeah, it
you do
interferes
not want
with
the
your...
yes to interfere.
Okay.
And so, yeah, like I said,
Yes.
normally we discuss
Okay.
those who are in need,
Yes.
then we can go ahead and try to
Because-
postpone.
Okay.
Now, when you postpone, put differently,
Mm-hmm.
menstruation comes because the hormones from the ovary that
Yes.
were generated as the egg was maturing, and at the time of release,
Mm-hmm.
when they begin to go down, when hormone production goes down, is when now changes that lead to menstruation coming.
Mm-hmm.
So for postponement,
Yeah.
you just continue giving the hormones and they
Mhm.
maintain the integrity of that lining
Yes.
for
The period you want
More-
to postpone. them.
yes, though
Okay.
majority of times beyond 2 weeks you may do it successfully, or sometimes it can be what is called breakthrough bleeding, that bleeding coming despite.
Yeah, okay.
But again, you do not want to delay it too long, because when you do so,
Mm-hmm.
then that lining overgrows. When it overgrows, it will break off in huge chunks and contain a lot more blood, so that then the bleeding will be heavier,
Yeah.
likely to have clots, likely to have cramping.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Painful cramping.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Last but not least,
Yes.
does the urge for sex end when menopause kicks in? I know
Not.
I could have found out from ladies whom I know have reached menopause, but let me find out from you, and then I'll hear from my viewers. If you're out there and you're menopausal, let us know. Are you still having sex?
Yes, I was going to say yes and no.
Yeah.
There are those people whose systems are very sensitive to the hormone estrogen, so that when it goes down, their libido may reduce.
Okay.
Yet there are others who are not so sensitive,
Mm-hmm.
that in fact their sex life improves after
After
menopause.
Okay.
They're not worried about the risk of conceiving.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yes, they are free.
are free.
Yes.
The children are perhaps adult, moved on, and the stresses of life
Yes, are
perhaps
easing
less.
off. Yes.
So you find yes that there are those
Yeah.
couples who have even more better times
After
after
menopause.
menopause than even before.
I tap on those blessings for myself.
I wish you what you wish yourself.
Thank you. Let me hear from my viewers. If you're out there and you're going through menopause, how is sex life for you? We would love to hear that, and just encourage others. If it's not as interesting as you'd love them to be, please come and have a talk with Daktari. There's something you can do about that to boost the libido.
Yes, majority of times, like I said, it's because of reduced estrogen levels,
Yes.
which usually will lead to drying up.
Okay.
And so of course then there's the element of pain. Normally some hormone replacement
Okay.
therapy does help.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Right.
At least there's hope.
Always there is hope.
Okay, you've had it yourself. There's always hope. If you need to see Dr. Aswani, again, he practices at Upper Hill Center at Professor Nelson Awori building at 3rd floor. So go ahead and schedule a visit and see him and discuss all your gynecological troubles that you have and ask all the questions that you might be having. Thank you for joining us for this episode, And until we meet on another episode, Daktari, it's been a pleasure.
Most welcome. I know it's very important to share information,
Yes.
so I appreciate this avenue for sharing information.
And we appreciate your contribution so much. May God bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, see you.